Okay, here we are. So we're in fall 2023, and this is week 5. The topic is bras and apparel, bra fitting and apparel. And I also want to say congratulations to the people that did Portland to Coast Walk. Congratulations, good job. John and I had both done it many years, but it's been a little while. So there's always something that's going to go a little awry. But all in all, it's an unbelievably fun team effort, and all the work that you put in kind of pays off during that. So we're excited for you and happy. And also, I really appreciated that post that I think it was from Courtney. Yeah, so most of the people on the team called Lost in Pace. Most of the people on that team met one another through, guess what? Princess Steps. So that is a really awesome, good reminder, and thank you, Courtney, for that, to network. Don't wait till the end of the clinic to start networking. Do it now, and you can make not only lifelong workout buddies, but friends who will stand behind you, rain or shine. I say the wind and the darkness and the rain and the cold, they're coming soon enough. It's kind of cool right now for it to have been kind of overcast all day. It's kind of a changing of the season. We're getting into fall. And for me, that meant cross-country season. And the leaves are starting to come out a little bit. We're pretty much done, I think, with the super heat waves, although my heart does go out to the people that are dealing with the fires still in the smoke. So we hope that they can get some respite from that. But for right here in the Willamette Valley, we're pretty fortunate for it to cool down. And with that, one of the things we're going to talk about after I do bras is layering. And just probably in the Willamette Valley, where it's not freezing cold, where I came from in Nebraska in the wintertime, or super hot and muggy in the summertime, layering is probably one of the best things you can consider in this type of weather. But first, I'm going to talk a little bit about bras. Now, I've been bra fitting for over 25 years. It really is a thing, and doesn't matter if you're walking or running, doesn't matter if you're small or more well endowed. It's very important to support the girls, not only for comfort, but for breast tissue health. The breasts move in a figure 8. And we're not going to totally stop that movement, but we definitely want to limit that movement. And there's different ways that we can do that. I'm going to talk a little bit about, there's some New Balance bras, there's Handful, there's Saucony, and I've got some Brooks bras. There's different styles because we all have different sizes and shapes and sizes. And so there's different ones that we consider. I'll start with a basic conventional tea back. It kind of looks like a tea back. This is for somebody who is an A-B cup like myself. There's not a whole lot of support because we don't need as much support, but the support that we need is there. Wider band is helpful to provide more support. And in fact, a wider, more secure band is one of the secrets to a good fit. And when the bra gurus say that 8 out of 10 women wear the wrong size, most of the time they're trying to make it fit comfortable like a day bra. And so usually they're not having the band secure enough. So honestly, my generally speaking older customers don't tolerate it too tight right here, but in general, there's this concept called the sister size. So if you think you're a 36 double D, the sister size is 34E. So down a band size, up a cup size to get that secureness that's going to help support the breast tissue better. And it really is getting into the fitting room, kind of similar to shoes. If you were trying on shoes here, for those of you that have, rarely do you have just one shoe that you get to try on. Unless you know, oh, I've had a fill in the blank shoe for 9 different times, I want to stick with the same one. But if you haven't gone through the process, it's pretty rare for us not to give you at least 2 or 3 or perhaps 4 different options. So same thing. And you might think you're a size 8 and you end up being a 9.5 wide. So you might think you're one size, but let's face it, COVID didn't do anybody favors. And a lot of women that I have fitted post-COVID, they changed. They changed in a way they weren't happy about, but we have to fit the beautiful body that we are today and honor and respect that. And so, anyway, this is a classic T-back. And then with Handful, this is called the adjustable, because you can actually make these straps crisscross, or they can go straight back like this, or you can even do a halter top, which is illustrated on that mannequin up there. They have pads that you can leave them in or you can remove them. And the idea of putting them in there is to give, they call it to flatter, not flatten. So if I wanted to have a little more shape, or what I call nip prevention, when the air conditioner goes on, the pads are going to help with nip prevention. Let's face it, that's what it is. Some people want to just be, this is who I am, take it or leave it. I love my little boobs how they are, but sometimes I want to cover up those nips a little bit, and that's okay too. So this one, as you can see, what's different about these two? Wider straps, wider band, more supportive, less supportive. This might be fine even for somebody who's double D if they're doing yoga or doing maybe even weightlifting, because it's not high impact. But walking, if you're C, D, double D, and then some, you're going to want to have more support than the spaghetti straps, okay? So, moving on, this one's called the racer back. You can see it's a racer back. And most of the time, a racer back, you got to put it on over your head. This one's kind of magical in the sense that if you can put it on over your head and hook it behind your back, you're golden. Let's say you have a hard time hooking it behind your back. You can actually take the straps, unhook these straps, and it actually, when you unhook the straps, then you can put it on over your head, flip it inside out, and then rotate it and hook it in the front. And for that reason, it's I would kind of call it a hybrid. Brooks came up with this one, and it's pretty amazing. It sounds a little complicated, but once you learn it, if you love the concept of a racer back, but have a hard time hooking behind your back, once you learn it, it's not that complicated, and it's amazing. Okay, so moving on. This one's the underwire. And sometimes people say, oh, I don't like underwire. It digs in. But I would confidently say about 80% of the women that I get this into and don't tell them it's underwire, they don't even know it's underwire. It's that comfortable. And so it's got double support. And all of these Brooks bras, I don't know if you can see it, but they are perforated right here. So they have a lot of ventilation in the front, and this one actually is perforated in the back. It's also convertible in the sense that you see these straps. You can have it be a scoop back like this, or you can adjust these straps and actually crisscross them for more support. Okay, so this one's the underwire. And then this one's called the scoop back. So this one's probably the least complicated of the three. Also supportive, also very ventilated with this mesh. And it's got reinforced support with the straps here and the hook and eye. So depending on your style, size, we do have these, the underwire up to 44S. And we have some of these other styles up to G size, cup size. So oftentimes people think, oh, they're not going to have anything for me, and they don't even see that we fit sports bras. They don't see this poster here. So sometimes when women are in here, I say, hey, once we get a rapport with them, and I even try to get my guy associates to, once they get a rapport with the female customers, to let them know, hey, we also do bra fitting here, and we have, Susan and Yessie on hand who are trained to do bra fitting. So, certain topics are more sensitive, but I consider it equipment. We all want good shoes for our feet. We should also have good sports bras for our girls and support them. Let's see. The other thing about sports bras, wash in cold and hang to dry. Don't use fabric softener, because the fabric is intended to be breathable. And if you use our body's natural oils, for one thing, even through laundering, are going to get in there and clog that breathability over time. Plus, the bra is going to stretch over time. And that's why an older bra isn't going to give as much support. It's going to stretch out. It's also going to contribute to some chafing because it's not wicking that moisture away. Okay, so with any of the apparel, whether it's the tops or the bottoms, the bras, the socks, it's all technical, moisture management, wicking, moisture phobic. Those are all terms in our industry that make you more comfortable if it's hot or if it's cold. Because if you're wearing, cotton is super, super good and effective at not only absorbing moisture, like getting out of a shower, you're using a cotton towel, it absorbs the moisture and it hangs on to the moisture. So if it's hot, that moisture is going to trap your heat inside and not allow you to naturally regulate that temperature. You're going to get hot and stay hot. You want something that's going to wick the moisture so that heat can dissipate. In contrast, when it's cold, if you have cotton, that cotton's going to absorb the moisture from the sweat or from the rain, hang on to that, and it's going to retain the temperature of the air, which is cold. So you want to be cooler when it's hot, warmer when it's cold, and that's what the fabric, and people ask, well, what is the fabric? It's a polyester blend, usually, a synthetic blend, but it's not the polyester of the 60s. It makes me think of this pair of blue polyester pants, navy blue, that my mom made for me. It was the first apparel, anything, that was made specifically for me. I was a junior in high school. It wasn't a hand-me-down. And I had that pair of pants through college, post-college, dating the guy, Susan, you got to get rid of those pants. And I'm like, no, because they were made for me and they still fit. Eventually I wore them out. So I'm not talking about, it's just funny because when I say polyester, I say not the polyester of, the 60s or 70s or 80s, but it's different now. It's a lot lighter weight. It's a lot more, you all know what I'm talking about, a lot more breathable, and it's engineered to be performance oriented. And what that performance oriented means is it's going to keep you comfortable, so you're more motivated to get out there. You're more inspired to get out there. Because let's face it, you're here because you're committed. You're committed to fitness. You're committed to consistency. I know a lot of you in every single group has provided opportunities for yourself for accountability by telling the people that you've met, we're going to meet on this day, at this time, at this location. And this is what we're going to do. And you show up. And if your buddies don't show up, guess what? You contact them and you tell them. And they appreciate it. They appreciate it. Right? So I'm going to talk a little bit too about some pockets. So this particular short here has pockets way up high here, and I've got my key to the back door in there, and it's got reflectivity. That's reflective. That's reflective. It's got a secure zipper pocket back here if I need to put something in there. And it's also got this pass through right here. So if I really wanted to take my shirt off or something, I could literally stick it through there, and I've done it before. In contrast, look at this pocket. This pocket is down lower. Okay, so some of them they're going to be down lower, some of them they're going to be up higher. And then I'm going to show you, and in this, a lot of people put their phones in those side pockets. My personal preference is to have the phone more parallel, not or more landscape, you know, this way, not this down here. And this particular short right or capri right here, somebody have a regular phone? I'm going to show you this right here. This will work. Thank you. Okay, so you can see this right here. That phone fit right in there. So now that phone is right up against the small of your back, and it's not going to move. So that's just another option to think about. Thank you. Okay, in terms of where the pockets are. I think, Alicia, you have this one. I think you have this one. The pockets here instead of here. Yeah. So different options for pockets. There's tights and there's pants. This pant, I call it like a windbreaker for your legs. Super, super lightweight. Stretch woven is what it's called. So if you want a little bit, it's not waterproof. If you do want waterproof, we actually have some lightweight waterproof pants that we got in, and a few waterproof jackets. Some of the people who are, usually the walkers wear the waterproof because they're not moving as fast. But I'll tell you what, as rainy as it was this last spring, I wore waterproof out there more than I have ever. But it was a lightweight waterproof with ventilation. So when you wear waterproof, the idea is it's going to keep the water out. But if you're sweating on the inside, then also it's going to be wet on the inside to an extent, because it's holding that moisture in, as opposed to a non-waterproof jacket that's going to be quite a bit more breathable. The other thing I was going to talk about.
Show them the Sport Hill with the legs.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Sport Hill. It's just kind of a mid-weight, I would say light to mid-weight pant that's going to be really, really comfortable. It's actually slightly brushed on the inside. So it's super, super comfortable for walking or running when it's super cold, or lounging around. It's got zippers on the bottom and reflectivity. So the reflectivity is going to be important when it starts getting dark. And a lot of the apparel, hats, jackets have what we call pops of reflectivity. This New Balance logo and that little part right there, I don't know if you can tell, but that is actually reflective. And from a pure safety perspective, when you're out there, you want to be seen to be safe. So later on, we'll talk more about reflectivity and lights, but as far as apparel goes, layering, that's what I was going to say. Layering is good. So right now I can see a lot of people have a short sleeve shirt, but also a jacket. The jacket, you can put it around your waist. If you get warmed up, you can, just have that. Vests, in the Northwest, vests to me are one of the best, layering pieces you can have, because it's going to protect your core from the wind and the rain. I do have some great vests coming in from Sport Hill this fall, not till I think October, but it's kind of a bittersweet thing in a sense, because a lot of companies stopped making lightweight vests. They're making those kind of big puffy ones, which are fine, but sometimes you just want a lightweight vest to put over a long sleeve shirt instead of a jacket, because it's going to protect your core from the wind and rain. A little bit of mist. We're in the Northwest. It's not going to hurt us. We're not going to melt, right? So, let's see. Leaders. Do any leaders have some favorite? Come on up.
Just on the vest, because it has pockets.
Yeah, come on up. Don't be shy. You've been around. This is Alicia.
So the vest, like Susan was saying, that extra layer, but also it has pockets. So then I'm putting my gloves in. If I need to take them off, I have a place to carry them.
if I need to carry along goo or whatever else I might need to be packing along at any given day. That's why I like the vests, to help layer that and carry more. And like Susan was saying, the pockets, these ones, they've made the shorts pockets bigger over the years. So as phones have become bigger, some of those, smaller, older shorts won't fit the new phones these days. So these are great.
Yeah. Any other leaders that you've had experience with gear that you want to talk about?
So on the vest too, it's reflective.
A lot of the vests are super reflective.
So I got this coat that's like just water resistant, and it has the little breathability, and it's got a lot of little reflective things on it as well.
It's actually called Light Show from Asics. It's got pockets. It's got a hood.
So it helps in the misty
And the
weather.
hood even has a little bill right here.
Oh yeah, that goes over and stays on. This is actually a great windbreaker because it's very windy out here sometimes.
And also right here, you can cinch it. So if you want to cinch it, you stop the natural air conditioning. If you want to cinch it up. Yeah, that's a nice piece.
Actually, I like this one a lot. I like it. It's around here somewhere.
Actually, I think you found that in the bargain basement. Which, just so you know, those of you that don't know, everything up here, Princess Steps members get 10% throughout the duration of the clinic up here. But there are some items in the basement that are 30% off and they're closeouts. So whether it's tops, bottoms, jackets, vests, hats, gloves, socks, have options no matter what the weather is. When it starts getting into the cooler season, you never know when it's going to rain or stop raining, or the temperature's going to drop, the wind's going to pick up. And, in the spirit of consistency, you don't want to have the excuse of, I don't have the right gear. You don't want that to be an excuse as to why you don't maintain your consistency. You want to have options no matter what the conditions are. And, I feel like I've become a little bit of a weather geek when it comes time to, whether it's, in the summertime or in the wintertime especially. I'm packing more stuff, so my bag's got to be a little bit bigger, but I'm packing more stuff because I want to make sure I have options. I want to have that jacket. I want to have that hat, and I want to have those gloves. If the temperature drops and it starts to rain, I don't want to be caught out there being cold because I didn't have the right gear and didn't prepare for it. So options. I'm always having options in the bag. Also, maybe a towel, just in case I, do get wet. I have something to sit on or dry off with for the drive home. So again, laundering, with all the technical gear, you want to wash it in cold, and oftentimes you can dry it. I've had some reps say, if you put it in the dryer, it'll soften up. Okay, great. Put it in the dryer, but make sure it's on low heat. If your dryer doesn't have a low heat option, then you're better off hanging it to dry. And again, don't use fabric softeners. That's just going to clog the breathability of whatever gear it is. Does anybody have any questions about apparel or bra fitting?
Quick one. Do you recommend that someone still needs to use a sport bra if basically they have no natural breast tissue left?
Probably not.
Okay.
That's a really great question. I've never had that before. And the question for the audience in there, if you have no natural breast tissue left, do you still need to wear a bra? Probably not. And I'm thinking of even as somebody that's had a mastectomy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you, and right now, if you don't wear one and you're fine, I think that's probably fine. I think that's a great reason. That reminds me too, that's one thing about the bras that do have pads. If you've had a mastectomy on one side and you want to even out a little bit, those pads are really helpful for that. purpose.
Speaking of the pads, I wear a handful, and I was getting really frustrated because I would get so wet in the bra area, and even with the breathability and everything. And one day, one of your staff said to me, have you ever thought of taking the pad out when you get so wet? It was like a game changer. I mean, that sounds so dumb and so basic, but if it's still a flattering bra, but it's a lot cooler if you take the pad out when you need to.
Right. And Diane, I'll do this for you, but I am wearing.
Well, I'm disappointed.
Yes. So normally I put on like 7 or 8 bras to demonstrate, and I just wasn't up to it today, but I do have the handful on, and I don't have the pads this time, but exactly what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever worn this with the pads while I'm running because I'm heating up.
Right.
Unless it's so cold and I want the extra warmth. But for the most part, I'm not going to need him.
Well,
I usually wear them more in the air conditioning.
It just was such an elementary concept, and yet it had totally eluded me. So I thought, well, let's share it.
No, that's an awesome discovery. That's an awesome.
Pads are not my friends. I find them in the dryer. I found one with my up here, so it's kind of like, what's the secret of keeping them in?
With laundry?
Yeah.
A lingerie bag is the secret. Use a lingerie bag and leave the pad in the bra. In fact, with Handful, Jennifer, the owner and creator, she said, if you're going to have the pad in there, leave it in there when you launder it, but put the whole thing in a lingerie bag, and then they won't get lost. Yeah, that's the secret. Otherwise, you're right. They're going to get lost. They just disappear. They just disappear. Any other? Awesome. Any other?
Support is it really supposed to give us? Because I'll use something like that just by itself with no regular bra underneath, and I feel as I'm walking that it's too loose. Even
You mean the ones that are not adjustable, like what I'm wearing? These here?
Yeah.
I would say if you're wearing this and it feels too loose, come in for a fitting.
Okay.
If it feels too loose, it probably is too loose.
Okay.
It's
When
either,
I'm walking, I feel that they're moving, so I feel I have to wear my regular bra and then that on.
no, you're talking about double braing?
Yeah.
You should never have to double bra. If you have the right bra on, you should never have to double bra. Thank you. Yeah, come on in. I'll be here for you. Yeah. Diane also told me about something that she saw at the relay. What was that?
Well, I was at Exchange 35, so I was seeing the runners run up the hill, and this one lady was just, gosh, that looks painful.
She's going like this.
And Susie used to say you'd see people in the park and tell them to come see you.
Well, carefully.
I
Only if
thought
I
you
knew
used to
him.
go see Susan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sensitive thing. I'm not going to tell somebody I don't know, hey, you need a bra, come and see me. But it crosses, when you get good at something, I can almost look at people's feet and guess their size. I can look at their breasts and guess their size because it's something that you do over and over. But our main passion is we want you to be comfortable. We want you to be comfortable so you're motivated and inspired to get out there. And I kid you not, if your feet aren't happy, you're not happy and you're not going to be motivated or inspired to get out there. If your girls are sore and not comfortable, not supported, you're not going to be inspired to get out there. If you don't have the right gear, you're not going to be inspired. So our passion is to help you help yourself be healthy and keep that fitness going. So thank you very much.
Just one last question. So how often do you recommend replacing a bra?
That's a great question. How often do you replace it? At least once a year, but part of it depends on how many bras do you have to begin with. So if you only have 1 or 2, you're probably going to, and you're exercising 3 to 4 days a week, if not more than that, then you're probably going to be replacing them maybe like when you replace your shoes. It just depends on how many you have and what you're going to use them for. Maybe you have ones that are not as supportive for yoga type stuff that's not so high impact. And then you have more supportive bras for your brisk walking, which is higher impact. So, you know, go through your drawers, pull out the ones that are yucky and old, and come on in and refresh your wardrobe with something, and get your Princess Step Steel. Thank you so much.